Back in the 60s, no one wrote the rules down, but we all knew them. You stood when elders entered. You didn't kiss on the first date, and you sure didn't call a boy first. It wasn't old-fashioned. It was pride. Quiet, steady pride. So let's remember 10 unwritten rules that shaped a more respectful kind of America. Number 1, guys always paid on dates. That wasn't up for debate. If you were the one doing the asking, you were doing the paying. No ifs, ands, or IOUs. Whether it was burgers at the diner or drive-in double feature, the wallet came out of your pocket. And not because anyone made you, but because that's just how it was done. It showed responsibility, respect, and a kind of quiet confidence that said, I've got this. We didn't split checks. We didn't count pennies. You just handled it. And sure, sometimes that meant mowing a few extra lawns or skipping your own milkshake. But it was worth it. There was pride in it. A sense that being a gentleman wasn't just about opening doors. It was about stepping up. These days, maybe things are more casual. But back then, picking up the tab meant more than money. It meant you were serious, and you treated her like she mattered. Number 2, no kiss on the first date. That wasn't just a suggestion. It was the standard. You picked her up on time, said hello to her folks, maybe took her to a soda fountain or the local theater. Then you walked her to the porch, told her you had a nice time, and that was it. No leaning in, no assumptions, just a smile, maybe a see you soon, and that long, quiet walk back to the car. And believe it or not, that restraint meant something. It built anticipation, respect. You didn't rush into things, you let them unfold. It wasn't about playing games. It was about showing that her time and her trust mattered. Nowadays, things move a whole lot faster. But back then, that small act of waiting made everything feel bigger, more meaningful. Because when that first kiss finally did come, it wasn't just physical, it was earned. And you remembered it. Number 3, stand when elders enter. It wasn't a rule you read, it was something you just knew. If your grandfather walked in, you stood. If a teacher stepped into the room, chairs scraped back without a word. It didn't matter if you were tired or mid-sentence, you got up. Not because someone barked at you too, but because it was the right thing to do. Back then, we were taught that age came with wisdom, and wisdom deserved respect. It wasn't performative, it was heartfelt. A silent way of saying, I see you, and I value what you've lived through. That little moment, so simple, meant a lot. And looking back, I think we understood something today's world forgets. Standing up wasn't about rules. It was about pride. The kind that came from knowing your place in a bigger story and honoring the ones who came before you. Number 4, no car, no date. It was that simple. You could have charm, good looks, even a Letterman jacket. But if you didn't have wheels, you weren't picking anyone up. Back in the 60s, a car wasn't just transportation. It was freedom, status, and responsibility all rolled into one. The moment you got your license, the world opened up. Drive-ins, soda fountains, Sunday cruising down Main Street, none of it happened without a set of keys. And for a young man, having a car meant you were serious. It meant you could take care of the girl and bring her home safely, on time. Parents noticed. So did the girls. Sure, some of us started with beat-up Chevys and rusted-out pickups. But we were proud of those rides, because they meant we were growing up. These days, a text might count as a date. But back then, if you weren't behind the wheel, you weren't even in the game. Number 5, girls never called boys first. That wasn't just a suggestion, it was gospel. If you were a girl in the 60s, you waited. You might doodle his name on a notebook, rehearse what you'd say, even stare at the rotary phone like it might blink first. But you didn't make the call. That was his job. And if he was interested, he'd find a way. It sounds old-fashioned now, maybe even unfair. But back then, it was about tradition. about letting the boy take the lead. Mothers reminded their daughters, and fathers expected it. That sense of playing it cool was part of the dance. There was mystery, patience, and a kind of romance in the waiting. Today, with texts and apps and instant everything, that ritual is mostly gone. But for those of us who lived it, there was something dignified in the restraint, something proud in not chasing, but choosing to be chosen. Number 6, table manners were sacred. Dinner wasn't just a meal, it was a ceremony. You washed your hands, you sat up straight, and you waited for everyone to be served before touching your plate. Elbows off the table, napkin in your lap, and heaven help you if you chewed with your mouth open. At the table, respect was expected, toward the food, toward your family, and toward the moment. It didn't matter if it was meatloaf on a Tuesday or pot roast on Sunday. Every meal was a lesson in discipline and dignity. Fathers led by example, mothers corrected with just a glance, and kids knew better than to interrupt. These days, folks eat on the go, scroll through phones, or skip the table entirely. But back then, the dinner table was where values were passed down. Bite by bite, word by word, and looking back, that kind of daily respect might have mattered more than we realize. Number 7, keep phone calls short. In the 1960s, talking on the phone wasn't a private luxury. It was a family event. One phone in the house, usually in the kitchen, with a cord that didn't quite reach the hallway, and a mother nearby making supper. If you were lucky, maybe 10 minutes, 15 if nobody noticed. But once Dad cleared his throat, or your little sister needed to call her friend, you wrapped it up fast. "Okay, I'll let you go now," was the universal code for someone's breathing down my neck. We respected time back then. Ours and everyone else's. You didn't hog the line. And if someone was waiting, you gave it up. Today's world has unlimited minutes and pocket-sized phones. But that scarcity taught us something. To be quick, to be thoughtful, and to say what mattered before the moment passed. Number 8, dress like a grown-up. Back then, even the kids looked sharp. You didn't leave the house in pajamas or ripped jeans. Boys wore tucked-in shirts, polished shoes, and hair that actually saw a comb. Girls wore skirts, blouses, and sometimes even gloves to church. You dressed for dinner, you dressed for school, and you definitely dressed to impress, especially on a date. It wasn't about being fancy, it was about self-respect. Our parents taught us that how you looked told the world how seriously you took life, and we believed them. Because when you took pride in your appearance, it showed up in your posture, your attitude, even the way you walked into a room. These days, casual is king, but there was something special about putting yourself together, not for attention, not for fashion, but because you carried yourself with care. And that kind of pride, you didn't need a label for. Number 9, no kissing in public. Holding hands. Maybe. A quick hug. Fine. But kissing on the sidewalk? That just wasn't done. In the 1960s, affection was private. You saved the real stuff for when the porch light was low, or not at all. Even in the movies, a kiss meant something. It came at the end, after the build-up, after the respect. And in real life, it was the same. If a couple got too close in public, you could count on a disapproving glance or a polite throat clear from someone's mother. It wasn't about shame, it was about modesty, a sense that some things were meant to be cherished, not displayed. These days, the world feels louder, bolder, but back then, restraint had its own quiet beauty. Because when something was rare, it meant more. And that made love feel less like a performance and more like a promise. Number 10, subtle flirting only. Back in the 60s, we didn't come on strong. A glance, a smile, maybe a compliment if you were feeling brave. Most of the time, it was a nudge in the hallway, a note slipped through desk cracks, or hey, save me a dance? At the gym, no bold pickup lines, no late-night texts, just quiet signals. And the thrill of wondering if they meant something. There was charm in not knowing, in feeling your heart race because someone looked your way and then quickly looked away. It was innocent, awkward, and honestly, kind of perfect. Today, everything's fast, instant, loud. But flirting back then, it was slow burn magic. You earned someone's attention and you held on to it carefully. And when something finally sparked, it felt real. Because behind all the blushing and stammering was something we've nearly forgotten, the joy of subtlety. Some rules weren't written down, but we lived by them just the same. They shaped how we treated each other and ourselves. Maybe they faded now, but the pride behind them, that still matters. Let us know, what unwritten rules did you grow up with? And as always, thanks for remembering with us.